Now, you hear a lot of words tossed around and a lot of questions asked about all sorts of different relationships you may have in your business. And is this a conflict of interest for you? Should you be doing this thing or that thing? I asked a friend of mine how he defines conflict of interest, and he said it comes down to this. You have a fiduciary responsibility to the organization that hires you. That means you're responsible for representing their interests. It's a conflict of interest when you do something that theoretically is representing their interests, but works against their interests and for your own interest. So for example, here at the Covation Center, I worked with small businesses, probably small businesses just like yours. Now, if I was in the business of also buying distressed businesses, looking for businesses that were in trouble, figuring out how I can make them better and make money off of repairing them, so I look to buy distressed businesses and turn them around, that would be a conflict of interest, right? Because instead of helping the business owner, I would be helping myself to that business. That's a clear conflict of interest. Now, it's not a conflict of interest if I come alongside to help another business and I happen to own a business. In fact, I'll take the benefits of what I've learned from my business and I'll help the other business. Or quite frankly, I may learn from them as well and it might help my business, but helping businesses succeed for the owners of those businesses, that's not a conflict of interest. It would be a conflict of interest if I worked with a business that's like mine, has customers like mine, delivers services like mine, and I use the relationship with them to copy their business and go after their customers, copy their business and deliver their services. And this is where it gets kind of tricky. What if you two do similar things and you help a business that's a lot like yours, but not yours? Here's an example. I've worked with a number of farms that do cut flower growing. Now, we work hard to keep them geographically separated from one another so that they don't see each other as competitors. We want them to hear from each other and learn from each other. But what I found really interesting is how many of them have different business models. Some of them want to sell to brides, want to sell for weddings. Others, they want to sell to florists, but they really don't want to get involved in the weddings. Still others prefer to go to farmers markets. They want to sell in a farmer's market. They want to maybe sell from their own farm. And there's variations of these business models. Now, if they help each other, if they talk to each other about how they grow their flowers, how to improve the quality of the flowers, how maybe even to market better to their different customer segments, it's not a conflict of interest for them helping each other, right? It's just helping each other. It's collaborating, it's partnering, it's sharing. So let me talk to you about another thing. Let's talk about collaboration. What does it mean to collaborate or partner? And those are two different concepts. Collaboration is when you work together, you share information for the betterment of each other. Collaborating is a florist will come alongside a flower grower and they're going to work together. They're going to work together to share information on how to grow your flowers, how to protect them in the winter. But that's not partnering. I'm not benefiting from your sale and you're not benefiting from my sale, but it's collaborating, it's helping one another. And quite honestly, when you help each other like that, whether it's in one industry or across a board, you're helping grow that industry, and that can only help. Here's an example for you. Starbucks goes into a city and Starbucks opens on the corner and maybe even across the street from another coffee shop. You would think this is competition. You would think this is bad. You would think the local coffee shop would be upset. But what they found in 2005-ish is that what happened was they cultivated community through coffee culture. And that more people found an interest in coffee than had had that interest before. Sales for all coffee shops lifted. Kind of weird, isn't it? That by having these different businesses all marketing coffee, expanded the market for coffee? How cool is that? Here's the bottom line takeaway. A conflict of interest is only when you're actively working against the interests of one employer to benefit another. It doesn't mean that you happen to be working in a similar space in a different location, or you're working with different customers delivering a similar product, or you happen to be in the same general area but working on a completely different set of customers and products. It's not a conflict of interest for a portrait photographer to help a landscape photographer. You can each help each other grow your skills and your business. It's really a tough concept at times for people to grasp, and I want to bring this home. A conflict of interest rarely exists. It really is when one person or organization is actively working against another one while saying they're working in their interests. And it hardly ever happens. I'm Steve Brady, and this was a tough one. I'll talk to you later.